gonna start. So good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and good evening if you're joining us from France, like Anne. I'm here today with the general manager of Reid Creek Lodge in Wyoming, Mitch. So Mitch, you want to show us your extraordinary estates, huh?
Yes, thank you so much, Dominique, and thank you to the familiar faces or familiar names that I see in the participants, and I cannot thank Dominique and her team enough. To be a part of this collection is just truly an amazing honor for us, and we're very grateful to be in her presence most of the time. She's just an incredible lady, and I know you all know that.
I
And
didn't
so
plan you. I didn't plan for you to say all this. Thank you.
um, we're very blessed to be with Dominique. So I
Oh,
will share my screen and start my presentation.
thank you, Mitch.
All right. I think we got it here. Okay, good. Can we see everything okay, Dominique?
Perfect.
Okay, excellent. All right, everyone. So my name is Mitch McElwain. I am the general manager of Reid Creek Lodge at Wagonhound. I'm the head of hospitality at Wagonhound Land and Livestock, and it is my honor to present this wonderful experience to you, Reid Creek Lodge at Wagonhound. So Reid Creek Lodge is this beautiful structure. It's a log cabin, 8,000 square feet, 7 ensuite bedrooms. I've got 13 beds in there, and I can sleep up to 22 individuals. Now, the maximum capacity of our lodge is 22, and when we book groups of that size, usually half or more are children. So just keep that in mind, and I will answer any questions at the end of this. So please, write those questions down. Keep them in mind. I'm happy to answer any questions. So Reid Creek Lodge sits on a working commercial cattle ranch, Wagonhound Land and Livestock. Folks, we are a commercial cattle ranch. We are not a hospitality conglomerate that purchased beautiful land and are doing, like many of our competitors or colleagues in this market, doing really fantastic work. We raise cattle and we raise horses and we raise a lot of those animals. That's our business. And what we want to do is provide this authentic peek inside our real lifestyle. So I'll tell you a little bit about our operation. Wagonhound Land and Livestock, like I said, raises red Angus cattle. We raise horses. We farm to feed all of those livestock. And we have an outfitting division that manages a little bit of our wildlife on the ranch. Art Nicholas is the man who first bought Wagonhound Land and Livestock in its current iteration. Wagonhound Land and Livestock is a historic ranch. Art bought the first piece in 1999, and it was 13,000 acres. So why would this man from California want to buy 13,000 acres of Wyoming ranch land? Well, Art Nicholas is not just a financier. He grew up raising cattle. He grew up on a ranch in Nebraska. This is Art's grandfather, who immigrated from England, began ranching in Kansas, then Nebraska. This is Art's father drinking out of that mason jar. Art's father was one of the last generations of American farmers farmers and ranchers to work the land with actual horsepower. So Art grew up ranching in Nebraska. He like many of us, I grew up in Wyoming. We kind of joined the military as one of our options in life. Well, Art did that, took him out to California. He found his way into finance and made a decent amount of money there. And as soon as he could, he got back into ranching and bought this 13,000 acres. Well, over the last 25 years, Wagonhound Land and Livestock has purchased and restored several historic ranches and grown to the size of 330,000 acres. It's 500 square miles, half the size of state of Rhode Island. Folks, it's big. There are about 50, 60 Wagonhound employees that work full time on the ranch, and no one of us knows every piece of this enormous landscape. I honestly cannot overstate it. I cannot overstate it. It's impossible. And so one of the beautiful things about this is Art is very passionate about the land, and ranchers are in general very passionate about the land. It provides us our livelihood. The good grasses, a healthy landscape provides for healthy cattle. So we raise grass here. And the best way to get out and explore what we have is through a visit with Reid Creek Lodge and this private guest experience. Now, we want a few things. We want folks to have an authentic experience. This isn't put on. The people that I hire to help me present this program to you, to your clients, we're real people, and we're passionate about what we do, and we want to share the beauty of our area and the beauty of our experience with every single person that visits in a way that is accessible to them. Not everyone's going to want to go on a 4-hour hike up to a mountaintop, but they may enjoy sitting on the back porch of the lodge while someone constantly refills their drinks, and Nancy's bringing out these beautiful charcuterie boards of delicious snacks, and you're just listening to the birds chirp, and no airplanes overhead, and no traffic driving by, and not one person that you're not going to know comes into your eyesight. So the authentic nature, and then I alluded a little bit to the exclusive nature of the property, but we really, really, really want folks to connect. This is just a place to connect, and we want folks to connect with each other. We want folks to connect with the landscape, and we want them to connect with themselves in a way that is difficult in other places. And so that's what we're really, really driving at, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of helping our guests kind of achieve those things. So here's some pictures of the interior of the lodge. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time in here, but it gives you a little flavor of what's going on. We got these burl wood posts all throughout the lodge. These are all hand-peeled logs. And I'm happy to dive deep on why I say hand-peeled and why that's so cool. But I'll save that for a different time. Our dining area can be as formal or as informal as we want. This table is generally where the adults sit. We have a little nook where some kids sit. You can kind of have a little adult time, a little kid time. Everyone ends up being happy. Or we can put two tables next to each other and everyone can dine together and sing songs or whatever the vibe is. This illustrates one of our multi-bed arrangements. So I said I have 7 bedrooms and 13 beds. Well, in this suite here, you can see we've got the king bed. Back there in the back, you can see a set of bunk beds. And then over here to our right, we have a full-size day bed. So oftentimes we see in this room, grandpa and grandma will stay in, and then just like a whole pile of grandkids and cousins will be in this room, and everyone really, really, really enjoys it. Or sometimes mom and dad get this room, and everyone else has to just kind of find another place. And so it's really fun. We've got a couple rooms upstairs, single bedrooms, for, maybe mom and dad, while the grandkids or while their children are down with grandpa and grandma, can get just a wonderful private time to themselves. These are all of our bedrooms. I do have a PDF that breaks down our entire bedroom arrangement. It's very handy to share with clients. Kind of making sure everyone is going to be comfortable with their sleeping arrangements is one of the first things that I like to tackle when we start talking about booking, or are we going to be good for a group. There's a couple really wonderful places to hang out. Down here, we've only got 3 TVs in the lodge. They're not often used. This big screen down here is great for those afternoon naps with the little kids, or maybe in the evening, someone puts together a slideshow. Everyone has cocktails. We look at the slideshow on the TV. There's another TV in the loft area, so you can watch the game, play some pool, and then one of the bedrooms does have one TV. So have a cocktail, have these handcrafted delicious treats by our gas fire. In the evening, we turn it on for ambiance. It doesn't really warm up the house too awful much in the evening, and it's just kind of a really cool way to hang out. So this is a look at one of the first places people like to explore. This hillside here to the right side of our lodge is just behind us. And it's so fun. It's covered with these exfoliated granite rocks, and it is extremely accessible for anyone, including anyone in any sort of princess attire. It really, really gets people out in a way that they can still see the lodge. You can still see the vehicles, even those that are kind of timid. They get out and hike it. It's absolutely beautiful. If we got folks that don't really want to adventure, we're done adventuring for the day. We can play some lawn games. I've got cornhole. These youngsters are practicing throwing the lasso around the calf. This is my head chef, Nancy. Really the rock and the foundation of Reid Creek Lodge experience. She provides just a wonderful ambiance. She is an incredibly wonderful woman, one of my dearest friends. And here she is with Dominique. Nancy creates a wonderful spread. And I mentioned kind of early on, I think maybe before we started the recording, I brought on another chef this year, Mike, who is just a force multiplier to the team. Our food and beverage is, it just keeps getting better and better. Now, I will say a note of this. The type of cuisine that we provide is we want to be upscale, ranch authentic. So you're not gonna see foie gras or beluga caviar with toast points on our menu. But everything that you're gonna eat is gonna be hand carefully crafted and also tailored to the client's dietary needs. So if we've got a group of 20, there generally is someone, maybe several people in that group that are going to have a different dietary need. So we're gonna be able to plug and play that in so that everyone gets to eat something that feels elegant and it feels wonderful for them, and no one's eating like the partially frozen veggie burger off to the side or whatever. We really want everyone to feel like this experience is for them. Hang out, have a cocktail. This is that upstairs loft area. The pool's here. The TV's off to our left. There's a back kind of behind this photograph. There's a little patio that overlooks the beaver dams. It's I don't know. It couldn't be a cooler place to hang out when you're not adventuring. We have chess inside. Breakfast. So Mike was in charge of breakfast this year, and let me tell you, Nancy's breakfasts are incredible. Mike's breakfasts are out of this world. So really, we try to feed the guests really well, keep them well fed, well hydrated, so that everyone has a good time. Hey, fishing is one of the easiest activities we have to get into. We can pop to any of our reservoirs very quickly and go get into some fish. If folks come out and they don't really fish a lot, we're going to give them one of these spin rods and put a lure on there and get them casting out there. It's super easy to access, very good for beginners. If we have someone who wants to maybe try fly fishing, I will give them some fly fishing instruction, and we'll give that a go as well. Fly fishing is it's a lifelong and very frustrating process. If you're a golfer, it's very similar to golf. At least for me, it is just tons and tons of frustration with certain moments of absolute beauty and joy that keep you hooked. So we can do that. Lovely. This is Windy Reservoir. I probably say this about every place on the ranch, but this is one of my favorite places. And it is a moment when we get up here to this place, people are able to just absorb the peace and the solitude. They all breathe in and they say, oh my gosh, it is so quiet here. And then it's lovely. And we spend the day fishing. We spend the day relaxing. We spend the day on the paddle boards or in the boats or swimming. Excuse me, we're treated to another lovely, authentic ranch lunch. And now we're into my favorite part, our horses. Okay, our guest horses are ranch born and bred. They are cream of the crop. They are the best of the best, and absolutely phenomenal animals. They are not old, tired, sad uh, trail horses that do nose to tail rides. I'm sure if any of you have been to a dude ranch or to kind of any other horse riding operation, you may have come across horses that, they're very sad, and here's the indoor arena. They don't like to ride. Well, our horses love what they do. They're born on this ranch. They work this ranch. They love being here, and they love taking guests around. Here's another one of our beautiful saddleback locations. There are bass and other types of fish down here for different types of fishing. S'mores by the patio. Back to our horses. So Dominique mentioned at the very beginning, maybe before the recording started, but our horses aren't going across trails per se that you might find at a national park. The 4 foot wide gravel, groomed, manicured trails. We're riding across the landscape on these animals. And the horses that we're on, we always keep in mind that they're horses and they are animals, and they do have their own brain, but the guest horses that we use are the horses that come out of our cowboy strings, that our cowboys who are on horses every day of the year pretty much will put their toddlers, their inexperienced mother-in-laws, they'll put all sorts of their friends and inexperienced family members on the backs of these horses, and they take so good care of them. And they do the same to our guests. And so we can really access, if you put that trust in that animal, and you can ride the horse a little bit, you get to go out and really breathe in and smell and be a part of this landscape from the backs of these horses. And I did mention this picture is kind of hard to see, but if you look very closely, you can see smiles on all three of these horses' faces. They absolutely love what they do. It truly is a wonderful time. Maybe we'll get to see a cowboy, a real, no joke cowboy out on our ranch. And that's going to be the only type of person that you see that's not my staff, is a cowboy, some sort of ranch worker. Nancy does these wonderful remote meals, and there she is slaving away making this delicious sourdough bread. If horseback riding is not your thing, or you get tired of horseback riding, we can go and we can summit a peak. You can literally look around in 360 degrees and say, Mitch, I want to climb to that thing. And we'll go climb it. And we'll have a wonderful time doing it. And 9 times out of 10, we'll be the only people to have taken that exact same path. So it really is exclusive. It's wonderful. This is a place where kids can be kids. They can be wild and they can be free. These little girls, they wanted to take the boat out themselves. We checked with mom and dad. Mom and dad said, absolutely, go out. They really are very independent. They went out there, and they were completely fine. I did have to go rescue them because all they could do was paddle in a circle. But they loved it. They loved every minute of it. And even adults love catching a fish. Look at that smile. That's Michelle's face. If you know Michelle, she's got a lovely smile, and there she is. She's caught this fish. I forced her to take this fish picture. It really is a wonderful time. So again, in comparison to our horses, hey, maybe you're not a horseback rider. Maybe someone in the group has mobility issues, or is just not into horseback riding. Well, we hop in our side-by-sides. Some people call them UTVs. These all-terrain vehicles, and we'll go out and we'll oftentimes be able to kind of intercept the trail ride and see the horseback riders go through. So no one really feels like they're completely excluded from any of the activities. E-biking is another option for us. If you love being on mountain bikes, these e-bikes can really help you access this incredible landscape in just yet another quiet, unobtrusive way, so you can get around and experience our landscape. These folks, they rode their e-bikes up to we gave them some GPS coordinates. They rode it up to this little pre-planned picnic for them. And if they weren't able to follow the GPS coordinates, they would have gone hungry all day. Just kidding. We keep folks well fed. So shed horn hunting is always an option. We have a resident herd of bull elk. that drop their antlers every year and regrow new ones. And so the land becomes littered with these just beautiful, incredibly big antlers. And so we'll go out and it's kind of like a big Easter egg hunt, and everyone from young to old get involved. Here's Annie Oakley herself, Miss Dominique de Bay. I mean, truly a crack shot with this 6-shooter. So we've got a couple 6-shooters. You can feel like you're in the Wild West at a rifle range. We have archery targets. We have a 3D archery course that's right next to the lodge. Very easy to access and get around. It is a lot of fun, kind of hiking a little bit of hunting vibe, but none of the killing, none of the sad parts of that sort of thing. We get to just shoot bows at targets and have a great time. I also have a sporting clays course where we shoot shotguns at clay pigeons. Another great time. And always, these next few pictures are going to be wildlife and animals on the ranch. They're just everywhere. You'll always see a pronghorn antelope here on the right side of our screen. It is, go buy a lottery ticket if you get to see a black bear. And it really is special when we get to see them out here. Otherwise, you're just getting to look at these beautiful vistas, beautiful landscapes everywhere you turn. If you come early in the year, wildflowers are in full bloom, and always cows, always red Angus cattle around. Some are more beautiful than others, I will tell you, but they're all cute in their own right, all very cute in their own right. This is one of, oh gosh, I'm saying it again, one of my favorite parts of the ranch. This is beautiful. This right here is Headquarters Lodge. Okay. This building, the wonders it beholds is fantastic. The architecture alone is beautiful, but inside is both museum and entertainment center. We spend our last full night here on the ranch. I take you guys on wagon rides with our team of Belgian Percher on horses, Moose and Mango, gentle giants. These boys, I mean, I just love them. They're some of the sweetest boys ever. We go on this wagon ride and we kind of get to experience a very gentle, kind of brief introduction into what it was like for the migrants in the 1800s traveling across this landscape in wagon. We don't have it as rough as they will. We'll stop the wagon at our picnic shelter and we'll have some cocktails and appetizers and maybe play some horseshoes and cornhole, take some beautiful pictures down here before we head back to the lodge. Here in these photographs, this is the museum part of the lodge. Artwork, sculptures, handcrafted items from traditional cowboy artists of America, hand-tooled saddles, rope braiding, silverwork. I mean, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. No detail is unaccounted for, and the craftsmanship is incredibly beautiful. And now over here, this is Dominique enjoying our game center, our entertainment center over there. We've got basketball, we've got a shooting game, a driving game, a boxing game, and of course, everyone's favorite, the mechanical bull. Dominique did wonderful on it, by the way. Here's our shooting game. Dominique got warmed up out at the shooting range, and she came back in here and kicked some butt on the video game. We've got air hockey, we've got shuffleboard over there. And then we head home that night, and this is Reid Creek Lodge at night. This is what the stars look like. And so I encourage every one of our guests to spend some time at night outside. If sky gazing, stargazing is your thing, your client's thing, they want to kind of ramp up their experience, we have the ability to bring in astronomers from Jackson, Wyoming, who come out with telescopes and iPads, and they can really do a guided tour of the night sky. Or you can just do what we do and throw out a blanket on the lawn, kick your head back, and look at the beautiful sky. More often than not, if you're very patient, you're going to see a shooting star. I guarantee you'll see more stars here than you do in your day-to-day life. It's incredible. I have merch. I sell it. Ride for the brand. It's not my favorite part, but gosh, we do really have some cool stuff. And if you want to take it home with you, we want you to represent that Wagonhound brand, because we're sure proud of what we do. And if I can, I get you guys out to look at beautiful sunsets as often as you want to, because no two are the same. And I mean, it's just beautiful. So that's what I got here for you folks. What questions can I answer? Are we out of time, Dominique?
Yes, we do, but thank you very much. It was amazing, as usual, and it was always nice for me to see again and again. With I love you talking on the, you love the land. You can tell. Huh?
I love sharing it. I really do. I love sharing it. There's so much out here, even for those folks that this is not quite their cup of tea. We still find something out here that they can connect to and they can dive into and they can enjoy.
And this ranch lodge, with all the games. If you remember, we didn't want to leave. We didn't.
I know.
It was hard.
No one wants to leave. No
Nobody
one
wants
wants
to
to go
leave,
home
so
tonight.
that's that's a tricky part. Huh?
Very
So
true.
let's see if we have Caroline says, I love knowing that you have a happy horses. And she said, Merci, Mitch. Mitch, love your enthusiasm. Yeah,
Oh, thank you, Carolyn.
I don't see any other question, but of course your presentation was so detailed. You went through the lodge, the activities, the size of the ranch, and so
Ah,
on. So,
if I may, just a couple things that I did not talk about, a couple details that are usually pretty important to folks, and that's how do you get here? Um, three really easy ways to get to the lodge. You can fly into Denver. Denver International Airport is our nearest direct flight airport. It's a 3.5 hour drive north of I-25. Very simple. Dominique's made it. It's, and she can attest to kind of the beauty of that drive. Several of my guests drive in and they kind of add components of the area into their drive, either to or from the lodge, and kind of enrich their experience that way. If you don't mind changing planes and you still want to fly in commercial, you can fly into Casper International Airport. So that is going to be an 1.5 hour drive from the lodge. So a little bit shorter, a little bit quicker to get you to the lodge from the airplane. And our third option is you can fly into kind of the local county private airport in Douglas, the Converse County Airport. Fly in private there. I'll come pick you up. The team will come pick you up from the airport. We'll drive you back to the lodge. It's about 45 minutes from that airport to the lodge. It's the shortest drive in. At that hangar, if your client wants to keep the plane and the pilots in the area, the hangar has an indoor apartment that is as good or better than any hotel room in town. We can park your plane in the hangar, can accept up to a Falcon 2000. Our runway I've been told, can accept any wide body jet. And so we're really, really convenient to kind of fly private into.
mhm. Oops, sorry.
And then pricing, I just want to talk about pricing for next season. I want to give you
Minimum stay.
this is actually perfect for both of these questions from Katie and Alyssa. Sorry if I missed. Is there a minimum night stay required? No minimum night stay.
It is
I
fantastic.
do. Oh, I'm sorry, Dominique.
No, I said it's fantastic, even if we recommend more, because people will be so disappointed to just stay for one night, but at least it makes the clients comfortable that there is flexibility. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want to work with the client's schedule. I mean, sometimes it just does not make sense to stay 3 nights for some folks or 2 nights, and so
And,
we
and
realize
it will
that.
come back if it's day one.
Exactly. And Alyssa, this is a complete buyout. We don't sell by person or by room. We are complete buyout. So we are talking about maybe doing some different pricing. Right now, our structure, I'll get to you in just a second, Carolyn. That's a great question. So our structure right now is we're a buyout property. We have a fixed rate. That has been, we're kind of finding that for groups of 10 people or less, our nightly rate is maybe just a little bit unreasonable for that amount of people. And so we're doing some discussions about maybe adjusting our rate to accommodate smaller group sizes. It will still be a buyout only. You will still be the only guests on the property. we will never sell each room individually and have a bunch of kind of different folks in there at once. It will always be a buyout, but we may be kind of adjusting those prices to kind of help it make a little bit more sense for our smaller groups. But right now, our rate is $16,000 a night, and that is going to include your 3 meals, your snacks, your beverages, your custom created itinerary, your private guides. Your itinerary is not written in stone, so there's plenty of room for flexibility. So if we want to do a one-on-one guided fishing trip, or a one-on-one guided hike, or a one-on-4 guided hike, or something like that, we just add it in. And you're not having to, your client's not having to like tally up this, that, or the other. Hey, what's this charging? Even if they can afford it, it's still a nuisance to get a big bill at the end for you just trying to have a good time. So we want to be as transparent as we can up front. Hey, you're paying the nightly rate. This is what you're getting. We're going to make your time here as wonderful as we can. Now, where we don't, the ultra high end alcohols, we can procure and pass through. If someone has a particular type of wine that they want, we can procure and pass that cost through. But if they're happy with our house liquors, which are top shelf, standard bar liquors, we try to get local beers, we try to get local liquors if possible, and all of that's included. So we're really not trying to nickel and dime anyone. We are about the experience. We're about connection. We're about authenticity. And to answer Carolyn's question, are we open year round? No, we are not. We have a very short season. Excuse me, not May, June through August currently. There are talks about perhaps expanding our season, but for right now, June through August is our season, and I'm actually not trying to book every night of the season. So I'm only trying to book about half of those nights, and so we're very exclusive. We like our exclusivity, really, in terms of you're not seeing anyone on the property, and also we're not trying to pack a bunch of people in here throughout the year. Which is, of course, a benefit to us. It helps us provide an authentic experience with passionate people who enjoy what they're doing. And so really, I don't know. I could ramble on about any number of aspects, but I'll kind of stop there and see if there's anything else.
I don't see any other questions, so maybe we're gonna say goodbye. And you're gonna be sending everyone the recording. And of course,
Yes,
if at that time they have more questions, that they will let you know right away. Huh? Thank you so
absolutely.
much for your time and again your enthusiasm. And thank you everyone for joining us from all over the Americas and Europe. Sue, you said thank you, great presentation. Thank you, Sue, again for being one of the attendees today. Yeah, Mitch. So I think we're gonna sorry, thank you so much. Enthusiastic presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Sue.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah, it's I know. I mean, I'm enthusiastic as well, but it's so nice to see when somebody else is doing the speech, to have so much passion. Huh? Thank you, Mitch, again. And then I'll send you the recording shortly and the attendees. Veronique, oh, another one from France. Veronique.
Thank you, Veronique.
All right. So have a good day, everyone. We are going at 2 p.m. We have another webinar. We're going to go to Clinique La Prairie in Montreux. Totally different experience. And Anna said, amazing. Gracias, Anna. Veronique, I like this product. Anna, yes, we are from Mexico. All right. So thank you, everybody, again. Thank you,
Thank
Mitch.
you all. Thank
Good
you,
day.
Dominique.
Bye.
Bye.